out and where the Koreans meet up against these fantastic players.
Now, let's get straight to it. Let's introduce these two. Spawning in the bottom left position, we have the Zerg player, currently teamless. It is JonnyREcco. And I was dropped from the game, unfortunately.
I was dropped from the game, too. You know, JonnyREcco versus Cube, somebody does not want this to happen.
Well, the game is still ongoing, so we can cast it from, of course, our lovely view of everything going on. So we can take a quick look at that, but unfortunately we can only see a very small chunk of the screen, which makes it a little bit awkward. But yeah, spawning in the top right position, we have got the Protoss player. It is Cube.
Wait, you stayed in the game?
No, I can see it on our view of production, our production view.
This is going to be like the most difficult cast of all time.
It will be. I've had to do this once before.
We'll do it, man. We're going to beast through it.
We do apologize for this, of course. We will do our best. Unfortunately, Battle.net decided to drop both of us in the previous attempt to get Game 1 going. It dropped the lovely Cube as well. So, in terms of strategy in ZVP, one of the big things we do need to keep an eye out for is whether it's Nexus first or whether it's a Forge first. It's the most common openings, and on Daybreak there's no issue with that. But moving into the mid-game, Zoya, what sort of things do you expect Cube may be throwing out, or what are his different possibilities?
The cool thing about this matchup now, as opposed to what it was in Waves of Liberty, there's so much versatility. You can go fast Colossus, you can go fast Storm to deal with Hydras, you can go for Archon pushes, you can go mass Stargate. There's really, and it's on both sides of the matchup too. Zerg can do whatever they want to. I mean, we even saw at DreamHack, Stefano and Jadon were going for a mass Ling style, only building Lings until they got Ultras out. I mean, this matchup is so versatile and fun.
It is so versatile and fun. There's lots of different strategies that you can see thrown out, and I think that's what makes it more exciting. Currently it is a Nexus first, though, coming out for Cube, so he's going really economically focused. Daybreak, you can afford to get away with that because it's quite a long rush distance. You don't have to worry about Zerglings getting over too soon. The Probe doing a nice job, actually, of blocking off this natural. Bit frustrating. Also throwing down the pile, I'm going to delay it even more. And this is the sort of thing which, as a Zerg player, it raises like your pulse rate a little bit. You get a little bit of adrenaline pumping. You're just like, for goodness sake, why would you do that? And even going to come down and block the third.
Yeah, you know, just delaying as long as possible. So I'm a Zerg player myself, and you know, there's nothing more annoying in the game than this. I mean, I'd rather be Sentry Immortal all in than having someone, you know, nigh my natural base.
Yeah, it could be worse, but of course having a pylon block at the third as well. This is actually really quite frustrating for JonnyREcco, but let's be honest here. Cube is delaying, obviously, a lot of his own stuff by spending these minerals on the pylons. He does have his cannon coming down, though. He's got his gateway up as well there. So his wall-off is in the process of coming down, but a couple of Zerglings are running across the map. That's quite problematic and could potentially be very annoying, and a gateway block even coming down here. Wow, Cube does not want JonnyREcco getting more than one hatchery this game.
No, he doesn't, man. He's doing everything he possibly can to delay. And that first hatchery finally going down for JonnyREcco. I can't see the game time to see how delayed it was, but that was really delayed.
Really delayed. It's going to be a long time coming, and that just means that obviously JonnyREcco's not only got less economy, but he's got so much less production as well, and that's something which can make a big thing. But with the third finally on its way now, that is of course good news. It's nearly completed up, so that is something that JonnyREcco will be very pleased about. Now, if we take a look at what else is coming down, not too much on Cube's side. His cybernetics core is yet to finish, which just means any indication of tech will be quite delayed, because if you don't know the cyber's done, it can't be anything yet. But obviously the options: Robo, Stargate, or a Twilight Council.
Yeah, and I have no clue what could possibly be. We have to see the buildings actually being built, so if you could click on that when that happens, Nick. I can't see the production tab, but you know, that's the cool thing about this match. We talk about the start. You can go whenever, and there we go. See, it is the robotics facility, so we're going to be opening up with a quick Robo. You can go for the Soul Train build, which is, you know, we've seen that work plenty of times. You can also go for just a Robo Expand, which, you know, on Daybreak is quite easy to do.
It is quite easy to do, and I mean, the thing is, this Robo is a bit more of a wings of, well, obviously there's always the risk of there being the Immortal Sentry All-In. That's still a viable strategy in Heart of the Swarm. When you take the Mothership Core with you as well, it can be good. Meanwhile, Rico has seen that the third and fourth gas are on their way. That's a really nice scout. That really indicates that actually Cube is going for something very gas-heavy early on. And that's the sort of information that Rico does need to gather to get an effective mid and later game strategy and defense against it. But precisely what's coming out, he hasn't yet seen the robotics facility. That's what he next needs to see.
Yeah, yeah, that's going to be important. We see an Immortal right away. That does kind of point towards the Sentry Immortal all-in, but you can, again, just be doing a straight-up Immortal expand. That could also be for defensive purposes. Get that quick Immortal out to defend it against any aggression, and then expand off of that. So until we see, the 5th, 6th, and 7th gate, and the timing of that 3rd Nexus, we really don't know what our prospect can be doing. The first Overlord moving into the main base doesn't look like he's going to be able to sky anything. No additional gateways have been thrown down in there just yet.
And there's just lots of pylons around everywhere, so that just means that ultimately you can try and hide where those gateways are coming down. Of course, the Sentry starting to work away at that Overlord. The lasers going pretty frantically, but the time will tell. When do we get to see what Cube has got in store for us? When is he going to throw down those additional gateways? When is he going to try and throw down the additional bases? JonnyREcco, of course, behind this. I did see his lair coming down. Of course, anyone just joining us, we are having to watch from just a snippet of the screen preview because Battle.net dropped us, which means we can't see things like the production tab. So that's why we may not grab everything instantly.
We do see that 4 gates are going down. I'm starting to lean toward a gateway or an expand build. I mean, the additional gates are really late here, but we'll have to see if a 3rd Immortal is going to roost it out. It's really interesting to cast this way for sure. But sometimes things happen. We just see the macro hatch going down for our Zerg player. He's got his Zergling speed finally started. Lair on the way as well, and a double evolution chamber. Does he have a Roach Warren? I don't believe so. It looks like
yep, the Rotron is on its way down. He's got a Rotron and a single evolution chamber. So
okay.
This is going to be some interesting strategies coming out. He's probably going to get road speed quite quickly, which means that he should have the option to defend quite nice. We've got additional gateways on their way, and this is now the Immortals moving across with the sentries. The proxy pylon, if not thrown down already, should be thrown down fairly soon, but Spinecrawler is already on their way for Rico, so he's pretty much prepared for what's coming. But it's a fake out, and we see that the 3rd Nexus is on its way. This is something that Rico definitely needs to identify so he doesn't overproduce units too early.
Yeah, the delayed gates really pointed towards the Nexus expand. Probably wanted to move out, clear the Zelnaga Tower in case there was a Ling there, show that he was being aggressive, and then fall back. It's a nice little fake build. JonnyREcco probably would have been able to defend. He's actually going to put a little bit of light aggression here. This shouldn't be doing too much. It might just force a bunch of units from our Zerg player, and then he's just going to recall back home.
Recall, of course, is something that is so powerful because if you do get surrounded, you can get out taking very minimal losses. And with the 3rd base there as well, you need to be able to recall back to that should a large chunk of aggression come in. And as we can see, JonnyREcco actually has quite a few Roaches and Zerglings out on the field, as well as those Spine Crawlers. So it's very likely that this could get surrounded and some damage done. Also behind this, we see that the Robotics Bay on its way, so Colossus Tech will be coming out shortly. And both players really gearing up to go a bit more forward. But where are these Speedlings going? Coming down the bottom of the map, they're going to scout out that 3rd relatively soon.
Yep, crew spread looking pretty solid for our Zerg player. Hallucinated Phoenix coming out, going to scout around. Nexus is being harassed here by a handful of Lings, but there are 2 cannons here. Even if they target fire down, it won't be enough. And like you said, there's so many Roaches and Lings here on defense for JonnyREcco. They're coming forward. Will the recall go down as my preview screen is lagging? I can't see it. Force fields are starting to go down. Not the best force field. A lot of units do get in here. The recall needs to happen immediately. All these units are getting surrounded. He's trying to back off. More force go down. The recall finally goes down. Couldn't see how many of the Immortals fell. Did you see that?
I did not manage to see that, but I think...
It looks like actually, all 3 lived.
All 3 remain. That was really lucky keeping those, but quite a few units did go down there as the Zerglings and the Roaches were... well, as they were running in. So, of course, that just means that when you lose those units, you're going to be a bit of a problem. Rico does also know what's coming down. The Spire is started, so it's going to be a muteless transition. And, well, if we get that far, Rico already really just starting to bait his opponent, who does not have much out on the field, it's fair to say.
Yeah, he's going to try and break this. This is kind of like the Stefano style. This is the style I've been playing lately. You go into the Roach Ling play, and then you transfer into Mutas. There's the Ling Hydra transition into Mutas, which was popular for a while. The thing about the Roach Ling style is you have a lot more gas. Hydras are more gas heavy. You also invest into the speed and range upgrade. So if you go into the Muta transition, you have a lot more gas than you normally would with the Hydra style than when you do with the Roaches. Don't know if that's what he's planning on doing, though. Haven't seen any additional tech from our Zerg player. They see a 2nd evolution chamber on the way. He's got that +1 melee attack following up. What are the upgrades for our Protoss player? Can we click on one of those units? And it looks like there is a Spire just about to finish, so he is going Roach Ling into Mutas. Can we click on a Protoss player, Nick, and see his upgrades? It looks like it is 1-1 with probably +2 attack on the way.
+2 attack on the way, of course. fine to get down. It's always a nice place to get down. And yeah, as we can see, we've just got the Hallucinated Phoenix taking a good little look at the army positioning of JonnyREcco, but only seeing that there's Roaches and Zerglings out. No sign yet of the Mutalisks, although I am sure there'll be some in production as I speak. +1 flyer attack also on its way down here, being shown brilliantly by our observer. The +1 ground carapace coming out for Rico as well. And there's the first Mutalisk popping. And the Stalkers are going to have to do a good job because Blink is not yet done. There's no Stargate for Phoenix either. These Mutalisks could do a lot of damage very quickly, Zoya.
Yeah, Blink is just now starting, like you said. It's going to be a ways off. I wish we could see the units have it. I'm going to go ahead and assume the Stalkers on the field right now with this army are the only ones there. It looks like there's about 14 Stalkers there. It looks like we're going to see a timing attack from our Protoss player. We do have Roaches counterattacking this third base, going straight into that middle line. Mutalisks, don't know where they are. Lings are actually going, oh wow, this is a huge counterattack from JonnyREcco. Mutalisks are flying back home to defend against his push. There are plenty of Stalkers and Sentries though, with the Guardian Shield. I don't know if it's going to break. Macro Hatcher being targeted down. Will he get the cancel off? That's 300 minerals he could use. Breaking the front right now. Keep in mind there is a recall on that Mothership Core. How much damage will he snipes the Cybernetics Core? That means no more Stalkers or Sentries can be warped in for the anti-air.
This is a really, really big base trade situation, but the big advantage that Cube has is the mass recall. That will allow him to get back here and defend it, but so currently his natural and his main are going to get ransacked. Third base for JonnyREcco is taking a tremendous amount of damage, so we can see that a huge number of cannons are being warped in. The natural base getting taken out, the robotic facility will fall, and Cube just pushing forward towards that naturally, taking out the fourth and the third. A huge wall of spine crawlers are there. There's the Mutalisks as well ready to go in, but they need to be careful. Some hallucinated Archons being used. Very smart move there by Cube, but this is going in. This is going in hard. The Spines, the Mutas have got to hold this off.
Yeah, Spines are being picked off here. The Mortals helping out a lot there. The anti-air count still pretty strong for our Protoss player. The counterattack has done a lot of damage. Main base being ransacked now. Natural base has been destroyed. Pushing into the natural base now is our Protoss player, going to kill off that hatchery. All of the production so far has been killed off. For our Zerg player. He's got the Macrox. Lots of spine collars in the main base. This is just delaying that push and killing off as much as he possibly can. And we've seen that that's starting to work. The spine collars have whittled down the Zealot count. Some of the Stalkers have fallen as well. Third base falling for our Protoss player. And I'm starting to lean towards JonnyREcco. If we look at that supply, 140 to 75.
He's got so many spine crawlers down here as well. He's trying to use those Mutalisks as effectively as he can. He needs to get down that Colossus ASAP. The Stalkers are starting to work away at the Mutalisks, but they're just not doing enough damage yet. A blink though means the more come close. The Spines are still engaging as best they can. JonnyREcco doing as the utmost, but as you said, the supply is heavily in his advantage. And well, there goes down the GG, and JonnyREcco wins the base race and will now take game 1 of this best of 3 series.